Hello again, perhaps. If I saw you earlier today, hello again. If you are joining me for the first time today, thank you. And thank you for everyone who is taking time for themselves to meet up with me, to find some time to breathe and to move. To breathe and to move. It's the only thing I think that's keeping me sane. The last 2 days, I've been out for a walk and I'll bundle up, see what the temperature's like. I hope it's going to be warmer. I'm going to go out for a walk again today with a friend of mine. And it's been great to get outside and move, but I've not done like hour-long walks in a minute, in a hot minute even. And so I have found that my hips and my hamstrings are really talking to me. In part because I go out for that hour-long walk and I do stretch, right? I do movement to like kind of stretch things out. But then I'm either sitting on the floor, because I sit on the floor, or I'm sitting at my computer or doing work, maybe watching TV. And so I go from a bunch of movement to a bunch of stillness, and my body is paying the price. So thank you for taking time. And maybe you're kind of in the same scenario. You're running around with your kids or you're getting outside, and then you come back and you're like, ugh. And then you go to get up and you're like, ugh, that's how I'm feeling. So this practice today is one, you can do it seated in a chair. So if you want to come to a chair, you can do a lot of these same things from there. We'll just mimic them. Similar shapes that I'll be showing you here on the floor. Excuse me. But you can also do them seated, okay? And so when you do come to a seat, I currently have the inability to move. There we go. I have a bit of a blanket for my ankles, and then I have a bolster that I really like to use. If you don't have, a yoga blanket, right? What's a yoga blanket? It's a blanket that you use to do yoga with. Okay, so it could be this style. It could be a throw from your couch. If you don't have a bolster, you can also. I sit on this quite a bit, so it's kind of firm and flat. It gives enough lift to the hips so you can sit a bit taller, okay? So whatever you'd like to do to set up your seat to start, if you find that cross-legged is not very comfortable for you, you don't have to do that. You can take one leg out or two legs out. And if anyone's hopping on and listening in, one, thank you. And two, if the audio is enough, if you can hear me fairly well, just give me a thumbs up to let me know that I'm speaking loud enough, or I will project louder if needed, because I'm the oldest of four and I can use my outside voice while I'm here. So today we're going to do some love for the hips and the hamstrings, but also for the neck and the shoulders, because again, if it comes to walking, you're usually looking down at the ground to make sure you don't trip on something. If you're at the computer, you're likely looking down or on your device of sorts. And so the neck and the shoulders get a lot of fatigue from daily life. And then, hello, as I lean in to see who, I tell you, you're 40 and all of a sudden you can't see anything, okay? And so we're gonna just kind of touch the body in a bunch of different ways. And if along the way something doesn't feel so good for you, just know that you don't have to take something exactly the way that I'm showing you, and I'll show a couple options, okay? So as we started, as I mentioned earlier, you don't have to sit cross-legged, right? You could sit with your feet together in front of you. You can even sit with your legs long in front of you for a while, but having something under your bum to provide support, as well as sit in your good old chair. All right, so now we've got that all sorted out as best you can. From wherever you are sitting in this moment, good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon, Peg. Hey, Hema, how are you? I haven't seen you in a minute. Miss you too. Okay. So here, as we sit, just for a bit to arrive, right? Yes, you're here. You've made the choice to spend some time for yourself. But let's just take a little bit of time, the very beginning of this practice, something that is simple, right? Intentional. It doesn't have to be elaborate. We're going to breathe. We're going to put our body into some shapes that'll help. That's the long and short of it. Okay, we'll start by tuning into the breath. Hands land in a way that is comfortable. The gaze can be soft, or you can invite the eyes to close if that's comfortable for you to do. Take the first couple rounds of breath here. Just let the breath go. Let the breath do what it will. And as you continue to breathe here, begin to just notice whatever there is to notice about your breath. I'm noticing some like pollen issues myself, but notice the movement that comes with your breath. Is there a sound with your breath? And does the inhale and exhale feel relatively balanced? Or is one a different length? And you continue to breathe here. And allow this breath, imagine this breath as the tether, continuing to invite you back. And when we practice yoga, it's an invitation to embody the present moment. And we can use the breath as that guide, as that tool. And then we layer on movement with the breath, that coming together of the breath and the movement, that joining together. It's a practice of yoga. It does not have to be elaborate. It just needs to be intentional. With your next inhale, roll the shoulders up around the ears. With your exhale, invite the shoulders back and down. If you happen to be in the chair, it's all good. Maybe you scoot forward to give yourself some room. And find some shoulder rolls. Taking 2 more rounds of shoulder rolls, unwinding from computer asana. We find ourselves here with the computer. We just open that up and back and down. Awesome. Here with heavy shoulders, we'll take a little drift of the chin down towards the chest. And begin to roll the right ear over to listen to the right shoulder. As you linger here, breathing down the side of your neck where you have this tension, it's gentle sensation, or maybe it's pretty elaborate, right? Maybe that feels like a lot, and it could. If there's more sensation than you'd like, just taking a little less depth. If you want to layer on a little extra sensation, take the hand that is along this long side. So if your right ear is lifted towards the ceiling, take your right hand off to the side. Tell you, man, teaching on camera is weird because I gotta stop looking at myself. Breathe down this whole, I felt a little pop. Okay, so breathing down the side of the neck all the way down to the fingertips. Again, if you want to layer a little extra on, you can take your other hand and just gently, you don't have to pull your head, please don't pull your head, but let the just draping of the arm create a little more sensation. Big full breath. And please know that if you layer anything on, like the extension of the arm or the drape of this arm, you don't have to do that. You can just let it go. And if you found the add-ons, we'll very gently release those back down. Drift the chin down through center. And then begin to travel over to the opposite side. Shoulders back and down. Breathe down the other side of your neck. You can spend all the time you want just as you are. This could be plenty of sensation. Right? You can soften it by taking less of a tilt or layering. You can drift the arm out to the side so you have that elongation from the earlobe all the way down to the fingertips. If you want to layer a little bit more on, you might give yourself a little assist, draping the arm over the head. And breathe into that tight space. Maybe it's the whisper of the breath. That little white noise. If you drape the arm over the head, we'll begin to gently make your way back. Hands land upon legs, chin drifts down through center. Just a little sway here in the center from side to side. Nice. And then once you've settled back in, chin by chest, we'll inhale, roll the shoulders up, lift the gaze up and back and down. Beautiful. So here, take your right hand over to your left knee. A little seated twist. Again, in the chair, you can do the exact same thing. Your other hand can come to your hip or come behind you. Sit tall. And then take your twist towards your left-hand side. And 2 more full breaths here. Releasing that twist with your inhale, come back up through center. And then come down. If you're maybe at a desk, you can rest your hands upon your desk. If you're here on the floor with me, you can bring your hands down. This can be close or walk your hands away from yourself. Find your depth. Elbows might rest on the floor. You can always grab something for a little support. The gaze come down with the eyes soften, maybe close. Take some big full breath into your low back. And if you had come forward, begin to gently make your way back up. If you're here on the floor, we'll shift the weight back, swap the cross of your legs. If you're in the chair, just take a moment to feel grounded. And with the opposite cross, if this bugs a knee, you could always just extend the leg out so the knee is not as unhappy. And then taking your twist towards your right-hand side, left hand to right knee, right hand to hip, chair, or floor as you lengthen. And then just explore this side. Smooth, full breath up and down the spine. 2 more breaths here. Releasing fingertips as we come back up to the top. We'll take forward fold number 2. As you come down again, you can rest. Also, if you're at a desk, you can take your arms to rest on the desk like this. Let your forehead rest upon your hands. And then just scoot the chair back so you have a nice length in your spine. If you're here on the floor, noticing the opposite hip or whatever is showing up as you come forward. And breathe into the back body. Smooth, full breath as this shape expands and softens. And then with your inhale, begin to find your way back up, coming back to the tall spine. We'll invite the shoulders up and back and down. Here, we'll take the legs out in front. If you're sitting in a chair, you can sit on the edge of the chair and just take your legs long in front of you. So close up on my feet there, y'all. That's something. Here, and with the long legs, if you need a little support beneath your knees, you could use a rolled blanket or put a little cushion beneath the knees, because this can be kind of intense for the hamstrings. We're going to start with some dynamic stretching and then soften into a more yin release, okay? And so we're going to sit nice and tall, lengthen through the crown of the head. And as you breathe in through the crown of the head, lengthen all the way up, and then come forward. As you come forward, hands come to shins or down to your ankles. Some of us might grab our feet. That's not me today. Once you have a hold of your shins or anywhere else, lengthen crown of head towards the toes, heart towards toes. Spend some time here. Maybe draw yourself a bit deeper, but notice, what does this feel like in your low back? If it's sharp or pinchy, just soften. Don't have to come quite as deep. Take some big full breath into this stretch, this dynamic movement for the hamstrings. Notice how the breath moves in this shape. All right, so here, lengthen again as you sit tall. Notice the backs of the legs. And then let the hands rest off by the side. Palms come down. They can rest on your legs or next to you. Let the feet get heavy. The legs get heavy. The torso drape. It doesn't have to come down close to your legs. Just be heavy. The head drape down. Here in this yin version of a forward fold, we release muscle engagement as best you can and just let everything be soft. As you breathe here into this version, this way of being in a forward fold, maybe notice if the sensation is a bit different. Does the sensation show up in a different place? Invite every exhale to be an invitation to soften, relax something. Take another breath here. Let that go. And then take your time to begin to gently, nice and easy, make your way back up to your neutral tall spine. Once you've arrived, inviting the shoulders up and back and down. Awesome. So from here with legs long, we're going to bring the right foot in. Lift my bum there. So as we bring the right foot in, taking half butterfly. So we're going to influence the inner right hamstring a bit. You might notice some stuff in your hips. If you ever want to put something underneath of that knee to support it, good job there. And then we're going to come forward over the left leg. And again, we're just going to visit this in a way of softening, draping, letting the head be heavy. You breathe into the back of the left leg. And there may be a little different or more sensation coming over that left leg on its own. So just tune into that. Take some big full breath for the hamstrings. As we breathe in these shapes, I mentioned earlier that I've been getting outside for a little more walking than usual. And I have dynamic movement in my life, and not being able to go to the gym has led for me to go for walks right now, which are great. But it's been a hot minute since I've been outside walking for an hour. And so that's what's showing up for me here. Different things show up for different people in the way of sensation. And if your patterns and behaviors have been different over the last few days, your body will feel different. Take one more breath here. And soften. And gently make your way once more back up to the tall spine. Nice. All right, we'll take that butterfly knee out. Find our second side. Things are just a little tight today. Okay, so with our second side, right foot heavy, sitting tall, and then just letting ourselves come over this leg. Our yin style of practice, this lingering in shapes. It doesn't speak to everyone because the quieter side of yoga can be challenging for the mind, not unlike meditation. As you spend time here, I invite you to tune into your breath and know that you're doing a beautiful thing for your body as you influence the connective tissue. Here, the hamstring, tendons, and ligaments in the back of your leg, and anything else going on over here. A couple full breaths. Over time, you may even find that things soften a little bit more and more, and you may or may not find more depth. It might just feel like it, and if so, awesome. If you feel like you're stuck, it's simply where you are today. And breathe into that, and let it be what it is. It's probably the hardest thing I can ask you to do, frankly. And take one more breath into the right leg and let that go. And begin to make your way back up. And you come to your tall spine once more, inviting shoulders back and down. From here, we're going to bring ourselves from into butterfly. And so as you take your butterfly legs, in this case, where both knees are bent and butterfly open, hence butterfly, shockingly enough. Your heels can be close in, right? This could be a lot. This could be a whole lot of sensation. And if it's sensation that you're looking for, if you're working on influencing the inner hamstrings and into your groin and your hips, you can absolutely spend time here. I am a fan of taking this a little wider because then it influences my low back and my hips and where my hips and my glutes come together. So kind of find your distance. We'll spend a little extra time here, again, in that yin fashion. And you can stay upright. You can stay upright for as long as you like, the whole time, rather. The gaze can be soft or the gaze can be closed. Maybe just take a breath or two to see what this feels like here. Daily lives, maybe not in the last few, but daily lives can feel a little bit like a pinball game, right? We bounce from one thing to the next. We're always preparing for the next thing. At least that's how I feel. And if it's just me, I'll work on that. But if you feel like sometimes it's go from task A, eat in the car to task B, finish that up and make the call for C, rinse and repeat, being still here to tune into what this feels like might be a little weird. Embrace the weird, because life is weird. But if you found truly there's not a lot of sensation or not the sensation you're looking for sitting upright, you can begin to travel forward, letting the torso again be heavy, letting the head be heavy. Hands can rest. Notice what's showing up for you, wherever it might be showing up. And if you found that depth that suits you, letting the head be heavy. The torso be heavy. And you breathe into this shape, using gravity as the assist. Big full breath. As you continue to breathe in your version of folded butterfly, just allowing this breath to continue to fill the shape, noticing where the breath moves and how the shape feels, where you might feel a little bit of softening with the exhale. As you spend time here, you can use this shape as space for a meditation of your breath. As a reminder, one of the definitions of meditation, one of the ideas behind it, is to place the mind. And as you linger here a little bit longer, perhaps you place the mind on your breath. Watch the movement. And listen to the sound. Take another breath in here. Let that go. Taking all the time you need to begin to press yourself back up. As you come back up to a tall seat here, inviting the shoulders up and back and down. Very gently beginning to extend the legs out. I'm going to turn a bit, you don't have to. As you come here, have the feet kind of wide. Give yourself some space. Just come back onto your hands. Just invite a little movement. You let the knees sway from side to side. And then the next time the knees come over to the left, just let them kind of hang out here on the left. And if it's more comfortable, you can also come down to your forearms. And similarly, if you have room, you could always come all the way down to your back. And so breathe into this length down the right side of your thigh, up into your hip, up into your glute. Again, if it's sharp or unpleasant, you can put a block or something to support that right leg. If there's enough sensation, breathe exactly as you are. If you need less, you can also prop yourself up a bit to create more support. Very gently bring the knees back up. We'll take them to the other side. As you drape them to the other side, breathing into the left side of the leg. And again, you can take this fully supine on your back if you'd like. I've just run out of room. But we do what we can with what we got. That's what I'm working with right now. We do what we can with what we've got. And it'll be enough, right? Intentional, not elaborate. Woo. We'll bring those knees back up. If you would like to finish your practice on your back, taking some time to breathe, you can. You want to come back up to a seat to breathe with me? You can. You can do whatever you want, really. So here in a seat or on your back, just take a little time here to be mindful. Take a space for a meditation of sorts. Whether it's seated or supine, gaze be soft, or if you like, close your eyes. As you breathe in, feel the body breathe in. As you breathe out, feel the body breathe out. As you continue to follow that pattern, just allowing your awareness to ride the flow of your breath. Tune into the expansion of the inhale and the softening of the exhale. In this last shape for your practice, allowing it to be room to breathe. And please know, as you breathe here, if you'd like to linger a bit longer, you are welcome to do so. And if there are things to be done, and yes, there always are, just taking some time to begin to mindfully make your way back to find your seat if you found yourself in a place of rest. As you find your way back to your seat here, and taking some time, bringing the palms together, hands rest upon heart center. As you bow your chin to your chest, your source of gratitude, love, and compassion, thanking yourself for making the time, your breath for guiding the way, and your body for being so patient and strong. And I thank you for sharing your time, your energy, and your beautiful practice with me. Until our paths cross again, my friends, be well and namaste. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you being here. If you're watching this on Thursday, which I think is the 18th, Friday morning we'll have meditation 8, and then I will be at Samskara on Friday for a 12:15 Balance Body and Yin class, which will be like an hour long version of what we did, maybe a little bit longer Yin holds, and then a meditation right after that class at Samskara. If you have any questions, drop me a line, pop them below. And until our paths cross again, be well, friends.